This is the Wagner Control 150M high efficiency airless paint sprayer. It is the ideal solution for DIY enthusiasts who want to achieve a perfect paint finish. Compared to standard pressure airless sprayers, this high efficient but pressure reduced pump has 55% less overspray, so there's less prep work required and less mess to clean up. The softer spray pan makes it easier to control, decreasing the chance of runs in the paint. It is suitable for wood, metal, wall and ceiling paints, including emulsion and smooth masonry for exterior walls. It is ideal for painting interiors and exteriors, including walls, ceilings, doors, skirting, trim, brickwork, rough cast, fences, sheds, decking, garages and other large surfaces. The easy to fill 5.5 litre gravity fed hopper means you can spray for longer without frequent refilling. Included in the package is the 311 tip with the red filter for your woodwork. Also is the 515 tip with the white filter for your emulsions for your ceiling and walls. Included is the tip holder and the all metal construction spray gun. And finally we have the 7.5 metre airless hose. Just going to show you the gun assembly. Hold this in two hands, twist the tip area, pull the guard for the trigger, and you can safely remove the filter housing. We are using the white filter with the 515 tip. Filter fits in just like that. Put the cover on, twist in to your hand tight. Replace the trigger guard. Insert the high efficiency airless tip into the tip holder, making sure it moves freely. This tip is specifically designed to give a soft fan pattern for perfect coverage. Now turn the gun over and gradually twist on until it's hand tight. The gun is now fully assembled. Now we're going to move on to attaching the hose. First, remove the protective covers. And then you can connect your hose. And now we're going to tighten the connections. We'll need two adjustable spanners. Just fit it over to the nuts securely. Turn till you'll get it tight. That's completed. Then we go to the gun and the hose. Need to securely hold two of the nuts at the same time. And we securely tighten them together. That is now secure on the gun. The correct tip ensures less overspray and therefore better control and finish. Not only will you use less paint, which saves on material costs, but you'll be spending less time doing the job and clearing up afterwards. On the tip, the first number gives the width of the spray. It matches the angle you are spraying at. If the number is 5, then you're spraying at an angle of 50 degrees. This gives you about a 5-inch fan width if you hold the gun approximately 30 centimeters from the surface. The last two numbers on the tip show the size of the spray orifice, indicated in 1/1000 of an inch. The higher the number, the greater the flow which you can spray. For an example, a 515 tip enables a greater flow than a 311 tip. The greater the flow, the faster you paint larger surfaces, but you will use more paint. With a smaller fan distribution, you will work more slowly, but you will use less paint and you will have more control. We recommend on first use to remove the hopper cover. Get yourself some water and pour it into the hopper. And then with your finger, depress the inlet filter valve button a couple of times just to get some water through into the pump. Come over to the knob and you put it to the prime position and you switch on. You'll know when it's fully primed when the water comes through the return tube in the hopper. Now we're going to do a visual inspection to make sure there isn't any leaks on any of the joints. The machine is now primed and I've switched it to the spray position. The noise you can hear is just the system repressurizing, ready to be sprayed for our test spray. Release the safety catch and give it a test spray into a bucket to make sure the water is coming out correctly. All seems to be working, looks like I'm ready to spray. With the Wagner Airless paint sprayer, you can use most paint types and brands. You don't need specialist sprayable paints. You can use solvent-based paints, but I would recommend using water-based paints. They are easier to dilute if required, and also easier to clean up afterwards. Using paint at room temperature makes them easier to mix and spray. To dilute and get the correct consistency of paint, I would recommend adding 10% water and increase by 5% at a time as required. Mix the paint well. Lift the stirrer from the paint and observe how the paint flows. It should run smoothly and continuously and dissolve into the paint without leaving a trail on the surface. Getting the paint consistency right will ensure you get a professional finish. Pour in up to 5.5 litres of paint. We are using Caparol just to demonstrate spraying onto different surfaces. Wipe any drips with a brush or damp cloth. Attach the lid to prevent anything falling into the paint. Then prime the machine, ready for spraying. You can see the paint coming through the return pipe. The machine now is ready to spray. I'm going to put on the safety glasses now. Just going to check that the gun is on safety and the tip is facing in the direction you're going to be spraying. Now I'm ready to do my test patterns on some cardboard. As you can see, we have an even and consistent fan pattern. The key to a good paint finish is an even coat over the entire surface. This black background highlights the excellent coverage and control. Now we're going to spray left to right. Using even strokes and moving your entire arm back and forth, don't flex your wrist. You need to keep your arm moving at all times and keep a constant speed and equal distance from the surface. The best spraying distance is 25 to 30 centimetres between the spray tip and the surface. Pull the trigger about 10 centimetres before the edge of the surface you want to spray and keep the gun moving at a steady pace. The spray gun should be triggered by turning it on and off with each stroke. Do not trigger the gun during the middle of a stroke. This will result in an uneven spray coverage. Overlap each stroke by about 30%. This will ensure an even coat. Should you get a blockage, no specialist tools are required. Just simply turn away into an empty bucket or a piece of cardboard, reverse the tip, squirt and return to your original position, then carry on spraying. If you've masked up the skirting, this is the type of straight line you can achieve. Now we finish spraying, it's very important that we depressurise the machine by turning the knob back to prime and then switching off. Once you've finished and you want to return the paint back to the paint can. Now we repressure the machine by switching on. If there's still any paint left, open the lid, get in your paintbrush and just scoop out the last few bits of the paint. Ready then to add water to finally clean the machine out. Finally, to finish cleaning, we just need to flush it through with some clean water. Now we've passed water through the machine, finally we have to clean the tip and tip holder in water. We need to remove the filter from inside the gun. And give it a thorough good clean. Now we've finished spraying, we can put everything back into place. Now it's ready to be stored away.